And we had cookbooks like this one that had absolutely no pictures, but just tiny, like salmon pudding. What is salmon pudding?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to know.
It says it's Australian.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that. Let me tell you the recipe. 1 tin of salmon. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Need to Know. I'm your host, Gemma Stafford. I'm a professional chef, cookbook author, and the creator of Bigger, Bolder Baking. And as always, I'm joined by the ever lovely Shukla, who is the culinary director of Bigger, Bolder Baking, and my little buddy. Not little buddy.
Okay, I'm smaller than you, but fine.
You're kind of pocket size.
I like that.
But I've got big pockets.
Yeah, exactly. You're just getting worse and worse, Gemma. I think you should stop.
I know. Should we do another intro? We just leave it. Okay, we'll leave it. Okay.
I don't care. I'm laughing.
I also have HR. And,
That's nice. You're allowed to say that.
No, I like Gemma making. I like watching Gemma make it worse and worse for herself.
Okay.
Go on, Gemma. What else do you have to say?
Okay. No, that's it. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's a compliment, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
How you doing?
I think you should just stop right now. What do you got for hot from the oven?
Hot from the oven today is okay. Get this. This is interesting. Not that we don't talk about stuff; it's not interesting. But I had not heard of this. So guess what? So TikTok is telling us the male equivalent to flowers on TikTok. They're telling us it's banana bread.
I love this.
Men love a loaf of banana bread. Isn't that interesting?
I think that's really interesting. I mean, I feel like, well, for sure, Dan would much take a loaf of banana bread any day over a bouquet of flowers.
I would too, actually.
Yeah.
Or like the money for the flowers. Money or a banana bread.
Well, here's the thing. Have we evolved to the point where, like, I mean, do you give men flowers? Like, no. I mean, I feel like we in the world of, like sure, why shouldn't men get flowers? But I would never think to give a man flowers.
No, but that's where I think this came from, is that women or partners are giving the men in their lives baked goods,
right?
Like, and then one of the most popular ones seems to be banana bread.
That's your thank you,
love
or
language.
That's your love language. That's and
that's for a lot of women, and especially and I've mentioned this before. Like, baking is my love language. Mm-hmm. When I met Kevin, I used to have baked goods like in my handbag. I would bring them everywhere. I remember going one day. We did an outing. We were living in San Francisco. We went to Alcatraz, and I had my homemade gingerbread in my bag, and I gave it to him at Alcatraz. And then it was after that he told me, "You have to stop feeding me." But that's what I do. I don't like. I'll be honest. I don't have a ton of skills, but the one thing, thankfully, that I know how to do is bake, and thankfully I made it my career, and nobody asked me to do anything else, so that's lucky. But that's my love language, is baking, is feeding people.
Yeah, and banana bread is just, it's so cozy and homey, and it's something that should be homemade, and it feels like who doesn't love a slice of that? It's just it's so good.
And that's actually one of the things, is the male recipients of the banana bread love it because it is homemade. It's not, they're not talking about store-bought banana bread. They're talking about homemade banana bread, made with care, made by somebody that you love as a gesture of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens to be sweet and banana-y and buttery and very delicious.
I think I'm going to steal this idea, because definitely, even in terms of sweets, like Dan will, like, if I'm trying to think of, like, who he would, bananas, caramel, that kind of world of sweets over chocolate, is definitely like his thing. So that,
I think that would be me too, over chocolate. Mm-hmm. Can I tell you something? Not to go too crazy about banana bread. So I've got 2 banana breads that really stand out to me, and I think they're worth mentioning. On biggerbolderbaking.com, I have one. Oh, it's in my book. Mm-hmm. The caramel banana bread, where you make a caramel, you caramelize the bananas, and then you let it cool, and then you add in the rest of the dry ingredients, and make this most amazing banana bread with like lovely caramel notes and like really deep flavor. That's number one. Do you remember having that?
Yes. So good.
So good. And then the next one is my sourdough banana bread.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, which I want to say it uses discard. A lot of my recipes that are like that use discard. That is very delicious, salty, loads of flavor. So when
Really
you're making,
tender, like, really
tender. And also just like a sourdough, stays softer longer. And like you said, it stays tender, very moist. Very delicious. So if it was like a birthday or a wedding anniversary, I wouldn't just go with my best ever banana bread. I would go kick it up a notch.
Make it special. Yeah.
Make
So
it real special.
You're really trying to thank someone. Say it with banana bread.
Yeah.
In other news, Gemma, do you follow professional basketball at all?
I do not.
Okay. I don't very much, though I wish I did more.
I do know about some female basketball players.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of, so the WNBA is incredibly popular right now. Attendance, ticket revenue, viewing all soared last year and are even higher this year. And so the playoffs start is September 14th, and then the finals are mid-October. And the whole reason why I'm saying all of this to you and how it relates to baking is because Caitlin Clark, I'm sure you've heard of Caitlin
that's
Clark.
who I know.
She
that was lucky.
thought I'd make it easy for you right off the bat. She said, well, what are these amazing basketball players doing when they're off court? And she said one of her favorite off court hobby is baking, and specifically chocolate chip cookies and fudgy brownies.
Chocolate chip cookies and fudgy brownies.
Yeah, two good ones.
Do you know what? This is a similar vibe to when we talked about like Taylor Swift, like her downtime, like baking. It's just a complete different world where you really get to unwind.
Yeah.
And try something totally different to your everyday. So like, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. And then that's not all. I guess it kind of like maybe, so there's a former WNBA player, Rebecca Brunson, and her wife, Bobby Jo Lamar Brunson, have a vegan liege waffle and cookie business called Sweet True V.
I love a liege waffle.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. I mean, I looked on the website. There's all these like beautiful cookies, waffles that they make, and they package them up. They're really great. So I think you can order them. And then also former WNBA player Jenny Moe has a cafe and a patisserie called Sweet Wife Baking in Baker City, Oregon. And you can go there for their famous cinnamon pecan sticky buns and stay for breakfast, lunch, coffee, and a variety of other pastries, and even craft cocktails.
Oh, lovely.
My favorite thing about this is this bakery is in Baker City, Oregon.
Oh,
like, shouldn't we all move to Baker City, Oregon?
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I live in Baker City. And I'm
lovely.
a baker.
I love that. Yeah. I love that tie of baking and a sport.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? I'm thinking of it now, and it's a bit selfish of me. And when we talked about Taylor Swift, I really hope when I hear about these celebrities baking that they have to come across my recipes at some stage, right?
Of course they do.
And be like, oh yeah, that girl with the Irish accent? Like I made her, sourdough bread.
Right.
Because like I've got like top search on Google for sourdough starter. So like Taylor, there's a very good chance she made my sourdough starter. There's was it Caitlin you said?
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies, fudgy brownie.
Yeah.
Google those two words. This comes up.
Why didn't you do a little thing? You shout out to Caitlin Clark, hey, you should try my recipe, see what you think.
That's true. I should do that.
Hear that, Caitlin Clark? It's your busy time. Once it's time for downtime.
Well, on that note, Ami, we're going to go in the mix. Do you spend more time on Instagram or TikTok?
Oh, definitely Instagram.
Me too. This is both relevant on both platforms, definitely huge on TikTok, is you're seeing a generation now, younger generation than myself. And delving deep into their grannies or their mothers or their great grannies recipe boxes with the cards. Remember those old school cards?
Yeah.
They're using their vintage tools, their vintage pans, all the old school cookbooks. I actually have, so just check this out.
What's that?
Evan's recipe cookery book. In Ireland, everyone always thinks this is so funny, and we call cooking in Ireland cookery. This is my granny's, and we can have a little look through that. I'm going to give that to Joey later to look through it. Look, how old school is that?
This is so cool.
Isn't that sweet? We can talk about that in a minute. My mum gave this to me after my dad passed away. My dad has 2 brothers and 1 sister, and one of them wrote mommy on the inside of the book. Isn't that sweet? Very, very old book. But this is the kind of stuff that people are going crazy for online because it's delving back into another generation. And then also it has like the super old school recipes. Like call out a few there, Ami.
Oh, let's see. We've got gooseberry fool.
Oh, gooseberries, that's a perfect one. Gooseberries are so popular in Ireland, and a fool is just whipped cream mixed with the fruit, as you know, because Ami loves fools. And she doesn't suffer them, however, but she loves them. I learned that the hard way.
But Sir Watkin wins pudding.
See? What is that? Nobody knows.
Sally
Except for your
Lunn?
granny.
What's Sally Lunn's?
I don't know what that is. But people are just really going crazy for all. And then also they always have like weird cuts of meat and stuff like pate with jelly. You're like, yes. But it's really fun. And it's a whole part of cultures that like that we're generations ahead that like might not have seen any of that. And like I said, there's accounts popping up on TikTok and Instagram making all of these old recipes using the old kitchen tools. There's one account that makes these recipes in front of an old VHS TV. VHS combo, which we all wanted. And then like she's playing like different videos from like the 80s, maybe even early 90s. So if you have social media account, you've definitely seen Beetle Tunge. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if I'm not. Basically, she is the creator who made this style of like retro baking, like just so beautiful. It's kind of focused on the bowl. She has always this lovely kind of apron or even a dress on with like a lot of like fabric, beautiful old school vintage bowls. All her tools are vintage. We can share some videos there. You'll see her whipping up eggs with an actual with a hand mixer, which like I have one of those, but I never use it.
Yes, yeah.
But it's lovely to watch somebody use it. Her videos are beautiful.
Yes.
Her recipes look gorgeous, but it's a vibe. And she has, and I think we can all agree because she has almost 11 million followers on Instagram.
It is so beautiful. And I just recently came across her Instagram, and I have to say, did we mention that it's Turquoise at Turquoise Kitchen? TURKUAZ, Turquoise Kitchen. It's as if it's a composed photograph that's moving.
Yeah, that's true.
It is really so. She's got like, she was making something with like, some batter, but there were bowls of strawberries and on top of the tablecloth, there's some old papers, with maybe the old recipe.
She does do that.
It looks like you were composing a gorgeous photograph, but then she's actually, doing something. So it's funny because like the first part of me wants to resist it and say, this isn't practical. This isn't how someone mixes something, but it is so beautiful that you don't care. You just want to watch this live film, this like short film. I don't know. It's very composed and very fun to watch.
Very well thought out, very well styled. I would say, I don't know a lot about her background, but I'm guessing she does. Well, she either has a background in styling, or she obviously has a very good knack for it and loves it. Mm-hmm. She is a New York Times bestseller list. Like she is a very popular creator. Maybe she'll come talk to us one day, Ami.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Wouldn't that be lovely? I also came across some other accounts. Kelsey Baker, she does a lot with vintage tools, and Lauren Johnson. There's so many out there. It's like, coming from like being born in the early 80s, I definitely I saw those in use. There's a generation now who never saw them before. And we had cookbooks like this one that had absolutely no pictures, but just tiny, like salmon pudding. What is salmon pudding?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to know.
It says it's Australian.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about that. Let me tell you the recipe. 1 tin of salmon, milk. Oh, you know what? I could go on. I'm not going to delve deep into this.
Do you know the account that's just like off? Do you know the account, the 70s Dinner Party?
No.
It's an Instagram account called 70s Dinner Party, and you should follow it if you like these vintage recipes.
That's absolutely what these are.
It is unbelievable. They photograph actual printed from books, vintage recipes from the 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And it is like things that you would never think to put together, like bananas and pickles, all mixed with peanut butter. It's really excellent. It's very fun.
My mom has a cookbook that I I devoured as a child for years, a big brown cookbook, huge, just like that one. It did have a lot of pictures. And I look back at it now and I think, what stylist got paid to do this? Like the styling is just mind-blowing. Very, very interesting, but very much like that.
What is the love of like vintage tools and vintage baking? Like, why do you think that's so popular? Like, what is this? You know, like there's all these modern conveniences, like my stand mixer, which I love.
Can I tell you, for me personally, as a collector, and you've seen my collection of vintage props, bowls, platters, and tools, stories.
Yeah.
It's a story. And what is social media, and what are my videos that we're making? What are recipes that we make? They're stories. And why do people go to thrift shops?
Right.
Because that jumper had a story. This bowl had a story. It lived a life. Who knows where it came from? Right. I bring back stuff from Ireland. I bring back stuff from Paris. I bring back stuff from Spain, back to my prop room. We use them in all of the photography. And there is only very rare circumstances do I use brand new props. I like everything to have come from somewhere, be previously loved.
Sure.
And you can see that there's been used and there's a story behind it. So I'm guessing a lot of it is a story. And like I said, there's a generation now that are not terribly young, but who did not grow up with these things in their house.
Right.
Because their parents could be around my age where like it was their parents, but not their grandparents, but not their parents. That's my thought, is that there's a lot of beauty in these old things.
It's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of stories just in like holding an old vintage tool, looking at some old plates, you know, whose hands did these pass through?
Yeah.
You know, what meals were had made in these bowls, eaten off these plates. There's something really, truly beautiful that really you can only get through time. Like there's nothing, you can't recreate that in a store.
For sure. And can I tell you something that's also, so you asked about like the bowls and the tools and stuff like that. And it's the same reason now there's something called granny core, which is grannies, grandfathers becoming content creators. And people are going nuts for it. And I'll tell you a few who are really big that you might already know, Ami. Do you know Brunch with Babs?
I love her. I love her. Of
course you do.
Her recipes are fun, but I actually mostly love her kitchen tips.
Yeah, she's great.
I love her. I'm like, could you please come to my kitchen and talk to me? She's awesome.
Kate Martindale, who styled my book, just styled her most recent book.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so awesome.
4.2 million followers on Instagram. She came up around COVID time.
That's when I discovered her.
So get this, she's really fun. She's really fun. Definitely check her out. Brunch with Babs. So she's 78 years of age. Apologies if I overshot that. I'm pretty sure she is. And she looks great. And I saw an interview with her, like, you know, how long do you think you're going to keep on creating content? And she's like, as long as I can. And it's about storytelling. It's not about views. It's not about videos. Yeah. It's not about like showing you the inside of her kitchen. It's about like storytelling. It's about sharing. It's about passing on knowledge. Another woman who I just learned of recently, Your Chubby Vintage Nana. 1 million followers on Instagram, hugely popular also. She's really fun. She does a lot around the house, kind of like she curls her hair every single day. She puts on makeup. She brings you through that whole routine, and her kitchen is a retro theme. And her kitchen is a vintage vibe, like all her bowls, her toaster, her the color of her counters, everything. She has these lovely flowery embroidered aprons. It's
very cute.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some of her videos.
Yeah. So those two definitely check out. Like this all makes sense to me because we saw it was a good few years ago now, but like the Nonas on Instagram on Facebook. It started on Facebook.
Yeah.
The accounts making the pasta.
Yeah.
Trying it out on the roofs of buildings and like homemade pasta. And then you see it kind of spread around the world with abuelitas and bubbas and like Irish grannies. And, you know, it's not just a video. It's you know, you get something from it. You experience a little bit of culture.
I also think that so many of us, at least in America, we don't live with our extended family, as we don't get to see. You know, when I was growing up, I was lucky enough to have my grandmother living with us for quite a few years, and to get to see like the stuff that she would make, you know, and you know all of her special recipes, or you know, she didn't actually have. You know, I would just like watch her make things, and it was really like I don't know, there's something really wonderful and soothing and comforting. So I don't have my grandmother with me anymore, but I get to see these grandmothers online, and it makes I feel cared for in the same way.
I get that. That's like, it's lovely. Like, a lot of people have, when you think about like your fond memories, grandparents are one of them. This is kind of a funny story. My granny was a principal of a school way back in the day, which was not a position that a lot of women held. She was one tough cookie. She was a great principal. She was tough, like very tough. It was like the 50s and the 60s. She made it her mission, kind of like middle school age, like 12, when we're supposed to leave in Ireland primary school and go on to do high school. Back then, she knew that if especially girls left the school, they would go into home. They would go either be made to get a job or to work in the house,
right?
Care for somebody, now become like somebody who is like a mother figure in the house, cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. So my granny used to keep those kids in school until and make sure that they got further education until they were around 15, because she knew that once they left, that they might not have as many options. So she kept them in school and made sure that they were more educated, and then they were better equipped to go on and do things. So my granny was that was really amazing to hear that. But I will tell you, my granny was also in charge of teaching that generation how to cook. My granny did not cook. And I think this book, where's my book gone? Here it is. I think this book says it all. She didn't cook. She wasn't a very good cook. I always knew my granny to have a housekeeper who did do the cooking. My dad was very lucky to marry a woman like my mom, now George's granny, who's a very good cook. I definitely think that my mom, being, a classy, sophisticated, well-traveled, worldly lady, but a great cook, a great baker, I think my mom would make a really good influencer.
Oh, yeah. Well, isn't there a video of you and George?
Yeah, she is. My mom,
I did see that story.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We made jam. My mom would make a good influencer. And I honestly, between you and Ayami, she really could be doing more.
Yeah.
So I think maybe turning out some videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin could be her manager. I tell her what to do. No, but in all honesty, I do think my mom would make great videos. She's interesting to watch.
So I love looking at your grandmother's book here, and some of the recipes are so funny. But I do think that there are vintage recipes, like old-fashioned recipes, that are still good today, that still like have relevance and hold up. And so some of those things are like bundt cakes.
Oh yeah,
always
bundt cakes are always good.
Always good, always a classic. Bread puddings. Custard.
Hands down, one of my favorite desserts is any type of bread pudding.
So comforting and cozy. And this is kind of like what we're thinking about, like very homey. Molasses cookies, Irish apple crumble for you,
always.
Any kind of apple crumble. Shufly pie.
What's that?
I feel like it's some sort of molasses-based pie. Do you have to ask me that?
I'm sorry.
I don't know what shufly pie is. I'm just telling you, it's an old-fashioned recipe that people
supposed to
like.
ask.
I know how it got its name.
Let me look at my book.
Anyway, shufly pie is really good.
Shufly pie. Can I tell you something? I believe you. I always talk about macaroni and cheese being an American thing. In this book, which I have to figure out when it was published, but as they say in Ireland, I can definitely say it was donkeys years ago. Macaroni cheese.
Oh.
Right there. But they spelt macaroni wrong.
Maybe they do it.
Macaroni. Is that right? That's wrong, right? M-A-C-C? Is there two C's in macaroni? No. That's not right. Anyway, there you go. So maybe macaroni and cheese is Irish.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's like it came from Italy and Italy is closer to Ireland.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know. So anyway, watching these grannies, bringing back old recipes, I think is always really such a nice thing to do.
It is lovely.
Timeless. These are timeless recipes.
Yes.
Timeless like you.
A touch of class. Oh, me.
I'm not saying you're a granny yet. I'm just saying timeless.
Is that from my little buddy's comment? Okay.
Well,
okay.
Gemma, I think it's time for the Bold Baking Hotline.
Everybody gets one. I had my one. That's your one.
Okay, Gemma, I have a question for you from Dora. On the website, she had posted, I loved golden fruit cookies made by the Sunshine Company. They had a raisin filling between pastry layers and they weren't too sweet. They were discontinued and I'm looking for a similar recipe.
Well, Dora, luckily we have it. So this is the Garibaldi biscuits, and it was your idea to make those. That was something that I grew up with. So like biscuits and tea is a big thing. So we always have all types of like dry biscuits. I remember them like as a child not being super exciting. I definitely preferred them as I'm older, but they had like sugar sprinkled on the outside. There were 2 layers of dough with like dried fruit in the middle. And actually with a cup of tea are very tasty.
Yes.
Super old school.
Yeah, very old school. And you know how I feel about raisins and desserts. Like so much more delicious than I would ever. I feel like I have to finally admit that I like raisins in baking, because every time I say this, I'm like, oh, well, I really hate raisins in baking, except for this one thing.
Yeah. That's true.
And they're good. Those are really good.
They are good.
Yeah, yummy. We have a question from Kaylana, who posted on Reddit. She said, I always use Nabisco chocolate wafers to make an icebox cake, which is another wonderful old-fashioned recipe that we didn't mention.
We love an icebox cake around here.
We do. So
I've only
easy.
learned of them recently.
But Nabisco discontinued their chocolate wafers.
Yeah.
So she wants to know, what are suggestions for substitutions?
That's a very good question. What we do to substitute is we have a chocolate, and these are very hard to come by too, chocolate graham crackers, homemade chocolate graham crackers. Those are good substitutions. And can I tell you something else? My homemade Oreos without being sandwiched together with the buttercream. Those also are really even closer to the Nabisco chocolate wafer.
Right.
And they're very flat.
Yeah.
And they would lend themselves very well to like soaking and layering and yumminess.
Sure. What would you do if you didn't want to bake at all?
Oh.
I'm just asking. That's not her question. I just was wondering.
Okay. You just want to make my life a little bit harder on me.
No,
then you get in your car, you go to the supermarket and you buy a packet of biscuits. Is that the answer you want?
But no, okay. Well, I'm thinking like if you want to make an icebox cake, maybe you didn't want to bake. Right?
Yeah.
So can you buy chocolate graham crackers in the store? Is that a thing?
They are hard. You can. They are hard to come by. And also what you can do is like either buy cake. Buy layers of like plain cake.
And then do that.
But buy biscuits.
Yeah.
Like we made the lemon icebox cake.
With graham crackers.
We made them with graham crackers.
Right.
And we bought those graham crackers.
Right.
Because I mean, life's too short to be.
I suppose you could like scrape the cream out of Oreos.
Yeah, you could.
You could do that. And that would be your chocolate wafer.
Exactly.
So that would be another way to do it.
Yeah. So an Oreo with no cream would be a perfect way.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more gotcha questions on me?
No, I just wanted to know. I don't know. Like maybe the person was like, the whole point was I didn't want to turn on the oven.
No. They didn't. I don't see anything about that here. You just wanted to get me. Lovely as always. I found that very enlightening.
Yes,
I love that about the grannies.
I know.
How lovely is that?
Yeah,
we're going to be grannies one day.
Oh man, I hope we can be as sweet as these grannies I see on TikTok.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to be a mean granny. Because I'll be older and tireder. Kevin's nodding. I know, yeah. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch and listen to your podcasts. And we'll see you back here again really soon. Take care. From HRN and the Bold Baking Network, you are watching the Need to Know Baking Entertainment podcast.